on the far side of town, sharing a dream with anyone. She's made it through heaven, she's made it through hell. It's just another story to tell. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen? Filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights. Making up a bar queen on the phone in the great big boulevard, the place she belongs. It's just another story she tells. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen? Filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights. Through Hollywood nights. Through Hollywood nights. Stay bearded, stay villain. One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay villain. It's BV, it's BV, BV, it's BV,
Yeah.
it's BV, it's BV, it's BV,
From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phones, this BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it. From the start to the finish, go hard. and we winning. It's the heart of a villain. It's the heart
Hello,
of a villain.
everybody,
Hey, yo.
and welcome to another Thursday. No, Friday. No, it's Wednesday night. What? What is going on? It is Wednesday night. We are here on a Wednesday night. How crazy is this? Wednesday night, June 19th, for episode 219 of The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood. Wow. It feels weird to be here on a Wednesday night. I haven't done this in a little bit. I haven't done a Wednesday night in a little bit. But there's a reason. There's a very good reason. There's a very good reason why we are here on a Wednesday. And Rob, just, you know what, Rob? Leave it to me. Leave it to me to just happen to look over at your comment section as it pops up. As I'm trying to say the word Wednesday, I see you say Thursday here, and I start saying Thursday. I don't know. Crazy stuff. But hey, you guys are here. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to be talking with Marz in just a little bit from the Lakeshore Villains. And we're going to be talking about a little thing called Beards For Bucko, the annual event up there this year, hosted by OSW and Lakeshore. It's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. And that is the reason why we are doing this show tonight. Because tomorrow I will be on traveling. I will be en route. I will be en route. It's not that it takes 2 days to get there, but we're making a pivot. We're making a stop. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, Bucko, once again, my annual Canadian trip. I'd love to get up there more often. And it's funny because it's only like 4 hours into Canada from here where I'm at, but not the route that we're taking. We're going to be going over through Buffalo, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for another fun weekend. So in just a few minutes, we're going to be hearing from my interview with Marz. First off, I want to say, unofficially, my beverage of choice for this evening, as I work through this podcast, my beverage of choice this evening is chosen because this weekend is Bucko weekend, and the reason for that is because tonight I am sipping on Red Letter Canadian whiskey. Red Letter Canadian whiskey, and it is from J.P. Weiser. And what's funny about this, normally I would not buy Canadian whiskey. However, there's some that's okay, that I like. But this fine bottle here, I still have. Those of you who were at Bucko a couple of years ago would be shocked to know this, especially knowing the fact that how much I love bourbon and whiskey. But this here bottle, I won in one of the raffles 2 years ago. And that was the awesome year of my raffle success, where I only put in for 4 different items. Out of the entire raffle, I put all of my eggs in those 4 baskets, as they say. I put in for 4 items, and I won all 4 items. It was the craziest set of circumstances I've ever been around, not to be repeated since. I have had some other luck otherwise, but that was a once-in-a-lifetime day. So I ended up with this bottle of whiskey, another bottle of scotch, a hard-to-find bottle of scotch, an expensive bottle of scotch nonetheless, which I also still have some of upstairs. When you get these things that you don't want to spend the money on outright too often, you just kind of take your way through them, right? You just sip. And I was shocked myself that I've actually lasted with this one for 2 years. And I might, you know what? Who knows? We'll see how tonight goes. I may just cap this thing off tonight. There's still a lot in here, though. But yeah. And then I have an 18-year I won 2 years ago, an 18-year Glenlivet. And it's a great bottle. So I sip on that occasionally, but I still probably have at least a third of that bottle still available too. So, but it was the craziest circumstances. And so I'm looking forward to possibly reliving that. Last year, I struck out. Last year I tried my magic, and I didn't win anything. I don't believe I came home with anything. I can't remember, but I don't know. I think if I would have, I remember. But yeah, so we'll see. I'm fingers crossed for this year. But for tonight, it is a red letter night. So cheers to everyone who might be taking part in this midweek tradition. All right. So tonight we are talking, as I said, with Marz, the co-cap from the Lakeshore Villains, about a little event. And you know what? I got to stop doing this. I think I have a tendency to keep calling things just because I don't know what it seems like I feel like the last 4 or 5 shows, especially when I'm talking about an event, I always do that. I revert back to that vocabulary. Maybe I'm just too dumb to come up with better words. I might just be too dumb to come up with better. I need to come up with better words and better explanations rather than just saying this little event. I keep saying that. This little event. I referred to West Coast Meet as, well, there's this little event coming up. I referred to Knox Villains as, well, you got this little event coming up. It's just one of those weird things that just jumps into my vocabulary when I think when my idiot brain can't think of something else to say. So I don't know, guys. So let's not do that anymore. I'm going to try to do better about that, but I can't guarantee it's going to happen. It's one of those phrases that just falls off the tongue for me. So this weekend, I'll be going to Beards For Bucko in Niagara Falls, Ontario. Looking forward to it. And we are going to hear from Marz, co-captain of Lakeshore Villains, in just a few minutes, talking about that event. But hey, I do want to take a couple of minutes to give a shout out to everybody who is taking some time out tonight to join us live. And is finding their way into the comments section on YouTube. Incidentally, if you are on YouTube and you have not subscribed to this here channel, we're approximately 20 subscriptions away, I think, from the big 1,000. It's taken us a long time. A lot of people watch the show that just don't subscribe. So if you're in there and you're not subscribed to this channel, it costs you nothing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I only come on once a week or so anyway, so it's not like I'm going to be out here bothering you like crazy. And any notifications you get, you can control them. So for sure. Kyle was the first one in the house tonight, which surprised us. Hey, he is a new supporter with the Northern Indiana chapter, with BV Northern Indiana, a new supporter. Love to see it. Good evening, Kyle. Welcome to the show. And I think mandated. I think everybody agree with me. I think it's mandated that he has to follow and subscribe to the show at this point. So, Kyle, good to see you here. Marz is hanging out with us as well. Evening, everyone. He says he wants to hear how badly I edited out his video or his interview. For sure. Gary's also hanging out with us. They were having a conversation in the chat before the show started about wondering about how much last minute packing I'm doing. So, of course, Gary chimes in. I would say last minute packing. No, not doing the last minute packing. And, of course, Rob, who it is morning time over there in England. It is morning time, 1 o'clock, I think, about in the morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening with his common phrase. Good to see it. And, of course, Rob was the one that started the questioning, of course. Do we think BP is fully prepared for Bucko, or will there be last-minute packing? No, there is some last-minute packing, but I'm about 85% ready. So knock it off. Be nice. Be nice. Phil's hanging out with us as well. Good day, gents. How you doing, Phil? And we've also got, let's see who we got here. I know we've got a few other people here in the comments section, and we got some other people live that aren't in the comments section, and that's okay, too. Ed Deering. How you doing, Ed? Ed's also from the Northern Indiana chapter. Good to see you, Ed. Who else we got here? Buddy's hanging out with us as well. Evening, brothers. Hope everybody had a kick-ass day. Yes, I did. I did. And it's always nice when you have a 3-day work week, which I did this week. So very fun. Looking forward to that. Anybody else we got in the comments section here? I think I saw at least one other person. I know we had Mike in here. There he is. Mike, good evening, everybody. He says, hey, good to see you here, Mike. Hope you are doing well. All right. So that's all the comments the people that I can see in a quick scroll of the comment section, but I do thank you all for so much for being here tonight. All right. Well, before we get into our interview with Mr. Marz, I do want to give a shout out for a couple of merch items that we do have. And the cool thing is that I am bringing back a few of those merch items that we've had in years past. I'm going to bring back a few of the merch items that we've talked about just last week and within the last 2 or 3 weeks. Just want to give one more shout out for some of these items. And very specifically, we have a couple of new items on the list for this week that I wanted to give a shout out to. And one that I'm giving a shout out to that I don't even know, well, you could only get it if you're going to the event. But I did want to show it to you because it just popped out on IG or line chats like within the last hour and a half. So I thought that would be a really cool thing to do. So we're going to get into our merch here in just a second. But first, I've got to tell you that whether you're navigating the rugged terrain of the great outdoors or conquering the concrete jungle of the urban landscape, Bigfoot Beard Company has you covered. Bigfoot beard products are made from natural ingredients designed to help maintain a healthy, rich beard without leaving it feeling greasy and heavy. From classic cologne-inspired fragrances to fruity, earthy tones, there's sure to be a scent for every occasion. With worldwide shipping available, why not take the opportunity to walk on the wild side? Head over to BigfootBeardCo.com today. That's www.BigfootBeardCo.com today and pick up some Bigfoot Beard Company stuff. All right. I wanted to make sure I did not forget that one tonight. So next up, we're going to give a little shout out for these chapters that are doing some merch. So let's get right into some of this stuff. Once again, I want to get into, let's talk about this. And oh no, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Somehow the Northern Indiana cross scythes pin suddenly jumped back up on the page. I apologize, guys. Just disregard that and just know that if you are interested in those, bvnorthernindiana.org is where you can go to get those. But not worry about that. All right. A couple of these are ones that we have talked about in the last few weeks, but I want to give one last shout out to the Jacksonville chapter. BV Jack's Sharky patch is $12. It's a new patch that they've come out with in new color schemes. It's kind of a muted pastel color schemey thing, but yet you know how sometimes pastels look washed out? This doesn't look washed out. It looks very, very bold. So the Bearded Villains Jacksonville chapter with their BV Jack's Sharky patch available for $12. Do not forget about the Heartland Originals. The Heartland Originals over in Ohio. The Heartland Villains. Their coin. Bearded Villains Ohio chapter coin is only $20. Has the Bearded Villains Ohio logo on the one side. The other side says Heartland Villains, and it is glow in the dark on the back side. White Sea Glow. Glow in the dark coin on one side. $20. Get over there to the Bearded Villains Ohio boys and grab one of those. Do not forget Van City. The Van City boys have a Crossed Axes 2024 patch. No, it does not include the axes that are in the picture with this, but the patch alone is $15. You might be able to, maybe you could work the axes into a deal, but I guarantee it's not going to be for $15. Van City, if you didn't know where that's at, that's Vancouver. Get over there, grab one of these bad boys. They don't come out with merch too often, but when they do, it looks great. $15 for the Van City Crossed Axes 2024 patch. Just a reminder, one last reminder, because Bucko is this weekend. If you want to avoid the lines, if you're coming from the States over to Bucko and you don't want to have to worry about all the currency transfer, what will happen to all this other stuff, even though we actually end up on the positive side of things with exchanging our money into Canadian money right now. But you can take care of it all in addition, in advance, not have to worry about lines or anything else. Just go over to the Lakeshore Villains chapter, and you can prepay for everything you need for the event. Prepay. Do it. Then you could just go and have fun. It's available at lakeshorevillains.com, all that prepaid stuff. Also, I did find out today that there's still, as of earlier today, there were still literally a handful of these, I think, available. I've heard people in the merch chats in the different places, the marketplace, talking about the weight of this pin and that this is a quality enamel pin. You don't want to miss out. There were only 100 of these made. And for an enamel pin that is heavy, has some weight to it, to be only $10, get out there and grab one of these. The last few of these that are available, hit up the Empire State Villains and grab one of these bad boys. Only $10 for an enamel pin. That's pretty good dealing. All right. Next up, this is a brand new one for us. A brand new one that I saw come across the interwebs. I saw this one come across the interwebs in the last week or so, just since last week's show. So our Star City Villains have two different patches, it looks like, that are available right now with kind of a patriotic military / theme to them. They've got the veteran camouflage patch, and they've got the stars and stripes patch, both of which are very cool, and each is only $8. How cool is that? $8. Where do you get an $8 patch anymore? Where do you get an $8 patch anymore? And you can get two of them. Bold colors, everything you got. Awesome stuff. Hit up the Star City Villains for further information to grab both of these awesome patches for only $8. Don't miss out on those. Hey, also, the other thing really cool that popped up, you only have 2 more days. You only have 2 more days if you want to get involved in this, I believe, because I think on the 21st, which actually, if you do the math, because it's England, you're going to have to take half a day away because they're half a day ahead of us, right, here in the States. But you have a chance to win a BV Central England chapter flag. A BV Central England chapter flag. They're doing a raffle for one. The raffle tickets only cost $1.50. Well, actually, it's $1.50 in pounds. And I think we actually in the States lose a little bit in the currency transfer for British pounds right now. But hey, you know what? Just put it on your card. Buy 2 or 3 of these raffle tickets, put it on your card, and call it a day. It's still going to cost you less than $5, right? So, very cool stuff for charity, right? So go out there. You have a chance for a few bucks. You have a chance to win something that you don't get your hands on, and you could win a BV Central England chapter flag. We only got 2 more days, or actually a day and a half here in the States, probably, to get involved in this. So get over there. It's available. You can buy the tickets on the Central England page. I believe that is Bearded. I think it's at Central England or Bearded Villains Central England.bigcartel.com. Just hit them up on IG and you can troll your way over there to get to their shop. That is Bearded Villains Central England. And then the last thing I have on my list today, I just wanted to give a teaser out to anybody who is going to the West Coast meet. This just dropped about an hour or 2 ago. And this is the new Utah Villains West Coast 2024 patch, only available. And I assume if they sell out, they're gone. Maybe they'll put them open to the public if they don't sell out at the event. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I'm just guessing that they probably don't want to just throw them away if they don't sell out of them all, but we'll see. But they are only available if you're going to go to the West Coast meet this weekend in Salt Lake City. So very cool patch. Very cool thing. I love it when you get stuff that's only available, at least for first timers, only available at the event. That's a cool thing too. So if you're going to West Coast meet, you have a chance to grab one of these or 2 of these or however many you want. If not, you're just rolling the dice. So that is our merch that I have so far for this episode of The Heart of a Villain. Please reach out if you did not get something on the show that that you were hoping to get on. If your chapter's doing something really cool, some merch item, please just give me a shout. Let me know. Send me a picture, and we will throw it on there. We'll throw it on for sure. Okay. Hey, it is that time. It is that time. We are about to hear from Marz from Lakeshore Villains talking about Beards for Bucko. Get your popcorn ready. Get your drinks ready. I've got my drink right here ready to go. We're going to put our fingers crossed and hope that this interview goes through without a hitch, but I will be here just in case if it does. But hey, we're going to hear from Marz about Beards for Bucko right now. Well, you've heard me talk about it now for a few weeks. I've been advertising the posters and talking all about a thing called Bucko. Beards for Bucko is finally here, coming up this weekend in a little country called Canada. Not so little. The event's awesome. It's going to be a great time. Here today to talk to me about this event is a longtime listener, longtime viewer, longtime visitor of this here program. We're here to talk to Marz. How you doing, buddy?
How are you, my friend?
Dude, I am stoked for this weekend. For so many reasons that don't even really have anything to do with specifically with BV. I'm excited that the wife's getting to go with me. I'm excited to have her experience some of this stuff for the first time. She's not been to as long as in many events that I've been to, she's only been to a handful of larger events with me over the years. So I'm excited. I'm excited to add another one to her list and be able to accompany her on her first excursion out of the country. So it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a blast.
Looking forward to it.
Before we get into the details of the weekend, man, tell me a little bit about what it's been like, because there is a little change up from years past for this event as far as the preparation and who all's running it and whatnot. So can you just start kind of at the beginning and just be like, well, this is where the path was, and this is what's changed with it, and what's the preparation been like coming into the weekend so far?
Yeah, of course. Just for maybe a little bit of history lesson, Camp Bucko was found by individuals from the Bearded Villains of Toronto chapter originally, and they were the ones who kind of were approached, and they approached them, kind of thing, and that's how it all began. And they originally, because that's before Lakeshore's time, they reached out to Ontario Southwest chapter, OSW as we know them, and they together decided to host the first event for Bucko, and that was early on that's how it originally began in the concept itself and how it was first started and whatnot. Then COVID hit, obviously, and then we worked a second cancellation for 2 years straight, I think, and then we started back up again. At which point, Lakeshore was now in existence, and Toronto approached. I think that year, what we were looking at doing a larger style event to represent Canada, and Toronto approached us with Ontario Southwest and said, "Hey, how would you guys like to come in as a third and help us put on this event? Bring it back again. It's been 2 years absence, and kind of give it a kick at the can again." So we joined aboard and worked with them on the event. Got our first cutting our teeth into events as far as Lakeshore goes. The event went well. We had a good turnout. Had some regulars coming back again who enjoyed themselves the first time around. And then the following year, again, it was all three of us. And this was last year. And we did a switch on venue because of the previous year. We found ourselves a bit constrained of space when inside the actual venue. So we decided to move to a larger venue. We found a larger brew house in the vicinity, and for multiple factors, we looked at things and we said, "Wow, okay, we're going to add this." And the dunk tank had really been a crowd favorite of a lot of people. We brought that back, but then we started to add a few other things, thinking we could expand, do other things. Toronto had this great concept of being a camp, doing the sash with the merit badges and things of that nature, and yeah, so it's evolved that way from last year. Again, due to various reasons, whether last minute cancellations, this and that, the location of the venue itself being a bit isolated and more of an industrial area, we didn't get the turnout that we all kind of hope for when we put on events. But nonetheless, there were also some surprises during the event and whatnot. But we still had a great time. We still raised a good amount of funds for the charity, and it was a great experience. This year, Toronto approached us and said, we're going to take a bit of a step back. They were, I think, originally thinking of doing an event on their own as Toronto, which again, everybody has a right to do, and we didn't take it in any particular way. Had a meeting with OSW and decided, whether or not we were going to continue, or whether, that was the last time we were going to do Bucko for some time, or take a break, or whatever it was. So ultimately, we decided that we were going to, try this again, learn from, the previous events and whatnot, and looked at it a bit differently. We tried to, if you want, I guess you could say, we stripped it down a bit, made it more simple, and reduced the amount of events that were going on at the event itself, so activities at the event, and just concentrated a bit more on just the why we're going there, having fun, aspect, and just getting people there. So yeah, this year's in a different location again, a lot more centric to Niagara Falls, so closer to main streets and whatnot. There'll be more foot traffic. We are holding it at a brewery called Taps, and it's a great venue. It's there's stages. We have a stage outside. We have a stage inside. If it needs to be utilized, we have it there because of weather possibly, but I think we're going to be okay on weather, it looks like. So yeah, that's kind of how we've gotten to this year's event, and still going strong, still representing Canada as best that we can, and hoping to see a bunch of new faces, which we're going to be seeing a lot of different new chapters coming in. We'll be seeing some of them, some of the other loyal chapters, such as Northern Indiana and whatnot, showing up again, which is great. It's always great to see the faces you've seen before, but it's always great to see new faces as well, people who haven't been before, and it's a new experience. So there's a lot riding on things that can make you nervous to make sure that everything goes off well, and you're preparing and whatnot. So obviously, like most of us, we're still working on things coming into the last minutes and days to the event, but excited about how it'll all unfold, and hopefully everybody enjoys the activities that we've got planned, and music and the food and having some drinks and having a great time, the meet and greet as usual, and yes, this little thing called the beard competition that sometimes happens at these events. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, I just love the atmosphere that kind of surrounds the event. It feels a little different than the other ones that I've gone to, down here or even overseas. It doesn't matter. Everything's a little bit different, and it's neat. I will say, obviously, because it's Canada, it's I've already prepared my wife and told her that the weed will be heavy. As what we're not necessarily at the event, because that's not an advertiser of the event, but just in general, being the fact that you're now in Canada, it's going to be one of those life things that you just have to see. It'll feel weird because we're as far away from that here in Indiana as you could possibly imagine. But the very first time I came up there, I was like, wow, this take, with the former law enforcement background, I was told that that's bad. And, you start, people just start walking around with it. And I've already told her, do not accept any handouts of any candies of any kind, because you never know. I've given her a heads up on that. But I got to say, the first year that I went, I loved the fact that there were it was so different because of the sash idea and the having the different patches and the things that you could do. That was a lot of fun. I did notice that it felt crowded there, but it was strange because it felt crowded at times, but it also felt really cool because you didn't have to go very far to be right in another group of people. And you could see so-and-so from just a few feet away, and you just go down the steps and there's another group over here, and then you go over here and so it was tight, but it was still serviceable, and it was good. Last year it was such a difference because it had expanded so much, the size of the venue. And you're talking outdoors, you're talking indoors, lower level, you're talking upstairs, first area, upstairs, second area. So you're just like meandering all over the place. And it was but you know what? Those stairs, I'm not going to miss them.
Trust me, after bringing down the with block, and in fact, bringing down the stage and tearing my hernia open even further, I was like, I don't know if I want to do these stairs again.
Yeah, for those unaware, imagine a set of stairs that goes up what is essentially like 2.5 stories straight up. There's no landing, it just goes up. And they had to carry everything for the stage and everything for all the raffles, which included a bicycle, an electric bike that was in a box that was several hundred pounds. It felt like. I mean, you guys were nuts. I don't know if you realized that that's where you were going to have to do stuff, and that it actually involved all that carrying of stuff. But I remember sitting down on the bottom with Ed we were sitting at the picnic tables watching you guys carry some of that stuff upstairs. And we're just like, nope.
We're not starting on time.
And I can't remember. And I can't remember looking at it. I can't remember if Ed said it or if I said it, but it was so funny because we both looked at each other at the same time. We're like, I don't think they thought this through, because that's a big staircase.
It's funny how that goes. I mean, you've done your own event and whatnot, and you think you have everything planned, and then something, or something starts to derail, and then time, starts to creep up, and also plays a big factor on how things are going to move forward and stuff. That's why. So the last meeting that we had with some of the committee members for Bucko this year, I said to them, look, I just want to say we're in the home stretch. This is where we start to enjoy it and stuff. It's the last week. It's stressful. I'm just going to preface, something's going to go wrong. Just putting it there, because it will. It's going to happen. Don't stress. We'll just have to deal with it. I don't know of any event that I've been to that something hasn't gone awry. Either it could be the smallest thing. Hey, we ran out of ice, whatever it is. But there's always something, and you just have to kind of take it as part of the experience, and you can plan as much as you want, and something will always show up. So, yeah, so we're preparing ourselves. We've tried to cross our T's and dot our I's as much as we possibly can, and and hopefully everything goes well. As long as everybody has fun, I think that's the most important thing. That we raise some money for the charity itself. We raise awareness for the charity as well. This year was slightly different because Joe Wanzo, the captain for OSW, and I were actually able to get on to a local TV station, and we were able to do an interview. The guy was really cool, really knew his stuff, and that was a cool experience. I had never really done anything like that before, but it was just nice that we could promote the event in a different fashion than we typically do, which is myself or somebody else creating some kind of content or putting, like this is another example, is getting on your podcast and telling the rest of the BV world. But that was cool because that was more of, it wasn't really BV centric. It was just the entire community of Niagara Falls. And that was really cool. They really liked what we were there for.
Let's be honest, a little podcast like this that's viewed by a few people, maybe a dozen, is nothing compared to going to an actual TV studio and going in front of real TV cameras, not the fake ones, and being in a real studio and being interviewed for actual television. Yeah, big difference. So don't even think about trying to compare the two. But I appreciate that you tried.
Hey, it's
not at all the
to
same.
To a lot of us, your podcast has a really close.
Well, you've heard me talk.
It is more in the BV generic. Now, in previous years, they've obviously, the dunk tank will be back again.
There was bathrooms upstairs, and that was a lifesaver because nothing compared to going to an actual TV studio and going in front of real TV cameras, not the fake ones, and being in a real studio and being interviewed for actual television. Yeah, big difference. So don't even think about trying to compare the two. But I appreciate that you tried.
Hey, it's
not at all the
to
same.
To a lot of us, your podcast has a really close place in our hearts. And look, it's not about the amount of hearts that you touch and stuff. It's that you're touching the ones that you do. So, you always carry a good message. You always bring up a good argument. There's always good topics. And yeah, okay, fine. It's not Joe Rogan's podcast audience and whatnot, but it may be someday.
No, it never will be. I I think I finally hit 30,000 downloads this week, this past week. So that took a long time. So, and still not even 1,000 subscribers. So on YouTube, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll get there one day.
We try.
Let's not talk about me anymore. Okay. So, yeah, it is funny because I when I was thinking back to last year's event, I thought, oh, which, by the way, wrong shoulder. Which I'm looking at yes, this one.
Your award?
Yes, right there.
There it is.
There it is from the Beard Cup last year.
There you go.
But anyway,
racking them up.
Racking them up. It was funny. One of the funniest things that I was so thankful for, though, was because we mentioned that big long staircase. There was bathrooms upstairs, and that was a lifesaver because after the first time I went back downstairs, I said no more. I'm staying up here for the rest of the day. When I'm not going up and down those stairs any more than I have to, because I would be the fool that ends up tripping all the way down like a domino, like a slinky coming down that set of stairs, and I don't want that. But it was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun last year. I was a little sad that I employed my same raffle strategy as I did the prior year, where I won all 4 items that I put raffle tickets in for. And last year, I don't think I won a single thing. So it backfired on me or something. Maybe the luck ran out for the first year. So we'll try it again this year and see what happens. But
sounds good.
Well, let's get into what people can expect. We've already talked about a little bit of the differences. So this year, just to touch on it, if people that have been there in the past and been familiar with how things go, are we no longer doing the sash with the patch thing? And then how are we doing? Are we not doing the games as well? Let's just talk about the differences first of all.
Yeah. When the sash idea came out, I thought it was great. I thought it was a fantastic idea, and it originated from Toronto. And so with them not participating or not being part of it in the sense of in the hosting aspect, right? Because they will be there supporting and whatnot, as they always have. And they're an integral part of why this event is even happening. So I just want to dismiss any rumors of any kind of that, that there's a riff or anything of that particular nature. That's not the case. We just, as people and as chapters, we grow, and sometimes in different directions and whatnot. So, but we continue to, obviously collaborate with them in different ways and whatnot, and go to events. But I guess we just felt one, we wanted to reduce the amount of activities, because there just seemed to be so much the previous year that people didn't really get to everything with the time and whatnot. So we said, maybe less, that refrain of less is more. Let's stick with the favorite. It's kind of like if you go watch the Rolling Stones or something, you want to hear the favorites, you want to hear the classics. Right. If they start breaking out original music from right now, people are going to be like, what is this? So, we wanted to, the dunk tank will be back again.
All right.
And for any of those early risers that'll be at the event, the Niagara Falls Fire Department, will be back again at 10 a.m. on Saturday to fill the dunk tank. We will clean it out this time so that the water looks clean. That was all our fault last year. That was not the water that we have.
The stories everybody was talking about was so funny.
We hadn't noticed, but we've already put word as like, hey, we got to clean this out this time because and they even tried to fill it up twice, I remember. But anyway, we'll be back at 10 a.m. to fill up the dunk tank again. It's always a fun time, when the big fire truck shows up and fire people show up, and the whole experience. Hopefully it'll bring a bit of a crowd as well. We'll all be setting up vendor tables. There will be vendor tables there. There'll be a tattoo artist there, getting your favorite BV type of tattoos. If you're a Villanette, there'll be Villanette, I think. There'll be Queens, and for some there'll be Kneens, maybe even. If they so want to get
you
one
went there.
done.
I love it.
You can't not. Yeah, I mean, it's
that's
just
awesome.
But yeah, so if anybody feels and has the time, because obviously they'll be limited with space, there'll be a tattoo person there. We'll have a photographer there to take a lot of photos. That's always a fun thing that people really want to be like, hey, where's all the photos? So we'll have a photographer there that we're bringing out to the event. Now, in previous years, they've obviously, we've always had the thing where, you know, we're our own music, if you will. We're talking to each other. We're, telling stories and whatnot. But this year, with some of the people local to that area, they were able to find us two bands to entertain us for the duration of the event. So there'll be two live bands, not playing simultaneously, one first, and then they'll take a break, and there'll be another band, and they'll play typical classic rock type of array and some more popular items and tunes and whatnot. Who knows? Maybe we can convince you to get up there and rock a ballad or something like that. Pull off some Journey or REO Speedwagon or one of those things. So
Doubtful.
well, you never know. So there'll be that, which I think is going to be great. It'll be different. We haven't done that before. There will be so the thing is this year so again, the raffle will happen. There'll be a raffle table, and then there'll be a limit to when you can put raffle tickets, and then there'll be much like the drawings that you do at Ezra Crow. It'll be done separately. It'll be posted on a whiteboard, and people will be able to go and claim their prize if they happen to win one. So hopefully BP will be able to stand up and actually get something this year. And then we're going to do what we haven't done last year, which is a live auction. There'll be some live auction items, one-offs, completely one-offs that have never been made before, nor will they be made again. And OSW has theirs that they're doing. Lakeshore is providing one item as well. It is more of the BV generic design, if you will, which we have gotten permission from BV to fabricate this, and then we've also have a few people have donated some really cool things. I think there's a chapter that is donating something that someone be able to pick up later. That'll be probably one of the raffles. I know Alberta is donating something as well. So yeah, there's different. We have Dixon, to name a few. Dixon, Educated Beards, for those that live in the area or live close to the proximity, or for those who want to come back again. There are 3 sets of Blue Jay tickets if somebody feels like going to take me out to the ball game type of a day kind of thing. And yeah, so that there's some really cool stuff in that sense. BV's also donated a large patches, exclusive patches, some very rare patches it seems, and some shirts and things of that nature. So we have a nice array. Yeah. It's nothing huge. I don't think we have an electric bike this year and whatnot. Hard to put on the plane. But yeah. Oh, and so the other 2 events. So the dunk tank, there are 3 activities per se for the actual Bucko event. The dunk tank is one. So and what that does is that puts you in to a special drawing kind of thing, and there is for a separate prize that's there, and that'll be a separate draw that you can get in. So if you participate in these events and you dunk a villain, you'll get a ticket that allows you to put your ticket inside for being selected to win this ultimate prize. With cool different things and whatnot. The dunk tank is one, as I mentioned. The other one is a I'm drawing a blank here. There's like a strong competition. So you pick up a sandbag and you hold it out with your arms out straight for X period of time, and it'll just go until whenever we're done. And the one with the longest period of time will get a special ticket again to go to that, and we'll hand out, I think, a top 3 in each one, so it's not just one individual. It'll be top male and female, so that queens and villainettes and other people want to try it out, they'll be able to do that as well. And then there'll be this fun thing where our Dan from Lakeshore, our captain, and Joe Wanzo from OSW will be walking around with a kind of like mason jar and asking for donations. The one who gets less donations than the other will end up getting pied in the face.
Oh, cool.
So they'll get a nice whipped cream pie smack in the face.
All right.
We haven't determined who will actually be the one to pie the villain, but it will happen, and maybe that'll kind of add to that whole thing. And then the backdrop. I think last year, if you recall, we did this really nice backdrop.
Yes.
With the logos and stuff. So this year we are also doing another backdrop. We've got some really cool sponsors this year. The Bearded Villains of Sweden chapter came through big. Obviously, as some people might know, Sweden and Lakeshore did a collaboration together on a patch. In fact, if you want, I can kind of show it. This one here.
Yeah.
So we
Wrong
where
one.
am I going?
Right
There we go. All right. So we put this together, and the money raised from this, from our side and from their side, is being donated to the Bucko charity event. Money going to the charity itself. So that's a great thing. And at the end of the day, once they're done selling all their patches, that'll be almost $2,000. So that puts them as a platinum sponsor. Obviously, we have BV as well as a sponsor. We have the Niagara Falls Fire Department, and I think we have one more. Then we just have the Lakeshore logo and the OSW logo on there. At the end, because we're going to hand out like silver and gold Sharpies, everybody can sign and put a message if they want or something like that. And then at the end, we'll auction it off if somebody wants to take it back with them as a keepsake of something to remember the event by, or if someone just needs a big backdrop, they'll be able to take it with them. So
Very cool.
so yeah, I mean that's there'll be food and drink. Obviously, it's a brewery, but it's got great food. I mean, both you and I, BP, have eaten there, and it's got a nice array. It's a decent price. And the other cool thing is the venue itself is going to donate. We're still not sure if they're going to donate between 10 and 15% of all proceeds made that day. Much like we saw last year, I guess, from the event, we kind of pushed for that as well. But with your entrance ticket, you get like a beverage voucher, which allows you to either get a pop or you can get like a beer or something like that. So with your entrance, because the entrance fee is for all BV people is $20, and I think that's a decent number to get in, and we're putting all towards charity. Plus, you get a drink ticket from it. Food's well priced. Families are all included, and then you have people from the local area as well to come in and kind of participate and whatnot. So and then of course there's this really small thing. I don't know if many places do these at these events. There's a beard competition, someone said, I think.
Okay.
Really rare. I think we're starting something new here.
New trend, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, which again, we'll have, about 4 or 5 categories, plus a whiskerina, which is always a, fan favorite. So, yeah, looking, again, we went with the thing of less is more,
Sure.
but try to emphasize on, a more, almost like a street fair, street carnival type of a feel to it kind of thing, where you have some of those things. You've got some vendors. The vendor tables will be really cool. Lakeshore will have a vendor table. Michigan will have a vendor table. There'll be a beard oil company, I think, is going to have a vendor table. The tattoo artist, obviously, and I think one more. I can't recall who it is right now. But so there'll be some nice. Montreal will be returning. to the event, which is great. We love our Montreal brothers.
Yeah.
Coming with new leadership and just a renewed energy. We've missed them in the past, and it's great to have them back again. And they're going to be having a table, and we all love their merch. They got some great items
Yeah.
that they put together. So I think it'll be real fun. It'll be nice for people to have all these different things that they can decide if they, this is the way I lean, or this is what I'd like, or whatever it is. But I think there's something for everybody. And more importantly, we'll raise money for a great cause, and just have a great time, see people that we really enjoy to see, and make some great memories.
Absolutely. That's what it's about. I think you and I've had so many discussions about this that it's not the event itself. The event is a tool that allows us to get together, that allows us to share in that brotherhood time. And some of the best memories that I have about any of these events are just the conversations, the sit downs, the talks, seeing people doing the dumbest things at an event that has different things going on. So who knows? Maybe you can. I was just thinking about this when you talked about the pie in the face thing. Perhaps that's another thing. If you haven't already thought about it, perhaps that's a thing that you need to raffle off, is the option. The winner of the raffle gets to be the person that puts the pie in the face of the winner of the.
Yeah,
you may actually get more money for somebody paying for that than you would paying either one of the mason jars themselves.
You know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong, because especially if for example, if I was to ask a certain board member to step in and take a pie in the face, I'm pretty sure that there might be a few people who would fork over some big bucks to just slap that sucker in there. Take out some aggression. But
I didn't say you'd put a pie in the face of a board member. I was saying put a pie in the face of the guy one of the two guys you mentioned that were carrying around the jar.
That's a possibility as well. Yeah, I'm sure people would like to see it. That would probably have to happen after the beard competition. But yeah, but again,
probably.
What? It'll be an interesting development on how ultimately that goes down. But I think it'll be fun. I think people will enjoy themselves and laugh at
I'm here for it. Whatever it is, I'm here for it. Remind everybody, I know we've just kind of danced around it, touched on it a little bit. Just remind everybody, we're raising money this weekend for what, and explain what it is, because I think we've touched on it, but I don't want to shortcut it. I don't want to shortchange it and assume that everybody knows.
So the event's called Beards For Bucko. But Bucko is Camp Bucko, and Camp Bucko is located in Ontario area, and is a camp for youth burn victims. These are young adults, in some cases young children, in fact, that have either a traumatic experience of either a chemical burn or fire of some kind, and ultimately they have difficulty going to regular camp, summer camp, that some of us have all enjoyed in our lifetime. They have a really hard time because, unfortunately, people tend to stare and whatnot, and so they've created this camp so that they can feel more identified, that they can see that they're not alone in this fight that they have. We kind of gravitated to it because simply we sometimes can identify, even though it may not be with scars, but it may be by the way that people look at us, tattoos, beards, long hair, no hair, looking, with our vests and cuts and patches and chains and whatnot. People stare and judge. And unfortunately, we can control that. We chose to look this way. And unfortunately, these children and young adults, they didn't have a choice in this matter. And so these funds go to help, preserve the camp itself, provide obviously with all the camp leadership, all the tools and food and things that you would need to run a camp. It's, if you can think of that. And so it's a great cause. We love doing it. And we're hoping that this year or next year, we'll be actually able to go to the camp itself one day. They've offered now, after this fourth year, to go and actually participate on a weekend at the camp itself, and be able to spend some time with some of the kids and whatnot. And so we're just waiting on when that would actually happen and whatnot. So
What a
should be a
cool
lot
thing.
of fun.
What a cool thing that would be.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. All right, man. Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything we've missed. We've got the event. If you're going, so there is a meet and greet on Friday night at the place that the event is being held.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. is the meet and greet.
Starts at 6 p.m.
And then the event starts at what time on Saturday?
Noon to 6-7.
Okay.
Depending on weather and good times. So
Perfect.
so yeah, and it's at the same venue, the Taps Brewery. So June 21st and 22nd, this weekend coming up.
Yeah. If you find your way to the meet and greet, you have no excuse for not being at the event because it's the same place.
We're expecting a few people at the meet and greet, but obviously more at the actual event itself, and then and obviously we would love to see some of the local community come out and support as well.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. It'd be awesome if the TV station could run a little extra note somewhere this week just to remind everybody, because that was a great interview.
They're trying to come by, actually.
That would be even better. Yeah, that'd be very cool. Yeah, because they did the stories, so they should do a follow-up at the event, I think. That would be awesome. That'd be good TV. That's just good common sense. All right. Well, Marz, I don't know what else to talk money. What forms of payment are you planning to accept for people?
So the venue will take obviously Canadian currency. We will have the ability that you can pay with PayPal if you're at the vendor tables and whatnot. Some of them may have other forms of.
So we're talking about money again. Just start that sentence over again.
So I'm pretty sure so again, Niagara Falls is a very touristy area, and having Buffalo right across the street basically, or across the falls. I'm pretty sure, if you're paying with U.S. funds and whatnot, it'll be accepted. They might do an exchange or whatnot, but for everybody coming in from the U.S. side, the Canadian dollar, or as we call it, the Canadian maple peso, is very much in your favor at this time. So you got a lot more bang for your buck. At the end of the day, it's something like for every dollar you get $1.35 Canadian. So you're picking up, a bit on your purchases. Your dollar go a lot longer way than it has in the past year. So that's a good thing. Again, you can do, in some cases, I know Lakeshore will have PayPal available if you're making purchases from their table. I can't speak for Montreal or some of the other ones, but I'm sure that they'll have different forms of payment. Some of them will even have that little, what's that, square, the tap?
Yeah.
Some of them have that kind of stuff. The venue itself, I'm sure, will take both forms of payment, Canadian and U.S. funds. I'm trying to think if we got anybody from out of town.
They're not. Yeah. Just as long as we know that the bar's not the facility's not cash only or something like that.
No. I mean,
okay.
I mean, for when you're the entrance fee and stuff like that, we can surely provide U.S. and Canadian funds. So if someone doesn't have Canadian funds or Canadian currency and wants to pay the entrance, we will have a converted rate so that you know how much to provide and whatnot.
Or even better, since everybody's going to be watching this with a couple of days' notice, you can go out to the Beards For Bucko Lakeshore website and prepay.
Yes,
and just
you can do that as well.
All of that. That.
Simple.
Go out to, I think it's lakeshorevillains.com. Is that right?
Yeah.
Lakeshorevillains.com. Prepay for it. So if you're coming from the States, it's done. It's done. You don't have to worry about it. Then you can just use your card at the bar and buy drinks that are cheap because they're 30 cents cheaper to $1. Perfect. Awesome. All right, man.
Sounds good.
Anything else that we want to cover?
come prepared to have a good time, make some amazing memories.
Oh,
We're opening our country to you, and yes.
I forgot. Who are the judges for this beard competition?
Oh, well,
Forgot to ask that.
we typically have 3 judges. One has always been the one of the camp people from Bucko, so they've agreed to come back and do it again.
All right.
We also have Paula, one of our queens from Northern Indiana. She has gracefully accepted the task of picking the best beards in the land when it comes to Canada. And then we have a special judge, one that I think you might know, and a lot of this audience knows as well. And that's the old BP. Is hung up winning all his awards and said it's time to pass judgment on all these beards. So we're lucky enough to have you as one of our judges, and it's a great panel.
That's right. I'm ready. I'm tired of winning 3rd place at this event, so I'm ready to judge. I'm ready to judge. I can't get first, so I'm gonna judge. So I'm excited.
If you're not first, you're third, eh?
That's right. Well, what do they say? Those who can't do, teach. Right. That's what we're gonna do. So I'm excited about this one, though. I've been excited every year I go. So, but this is we're doing a different take, and I love the fact that seems like it's been the year of the events that I've been to so far this year, and it seems like it's only halfway through the year, but all of these bigger events that I've been to this year, the chapters have kind of done a little pivot and changed things up a little bit. And I love the fact that we're recognizing out there that we have to kind of do that. It's good to keep things as status quo for a little bit, but you're always looking to do something different to keep people interested and on their toes, not knowing what to expect type of thing. And experienced that with a couple different events earlier this year. And now doing Bucko doing the same thing. I love it. So
yeah.
We're excited. Just a few more days, and 3 more days, and we're there.
We're almost there. All
right, man.
Excited.
Well, have a great night. Take the next day or two to finalize your details, but then after Thursday, man, don't fret the details. You know it. You've been around it enough. You've done enough time. Once Thursday midnight hits, it's going to be what it's going to be, right? And you just got to go out and have fun. I think, like you said, the fun part is, the really interesting part is, come Friday or come Saturday, whenever it hits, to find that first. Whoops, didn't think about that. I kind of look at it as a challenge now. It's like, can't wait for that moment to hit, because then you're like, okay, now we're fine. We found the first thing, and we're good. We're good to go. It's not life altering or anything like that. So. Just get past the stress points and just go out and have fun.
That's the concentration right now is, like you said, once Thursday hits, I go pick up a few people coming in from out of town, making the effort to get out here. It's just going to be about I always say this, it's just about making great memories, things that you'll never forget, friendships that you'll create that day. And just experiences that will live with us forever. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. Marz, thanks so much. Thanks for taking some time with me. I know you're a super busy dude right now, not only with the event, but work and everything else going on in your life. So I appreciate you for taking some time, even though you're the only one that I was able to find to talk that was available. So, which is really kind of surprising, as busy as you are. But I appreciate it, man. I can't wait to see you in a couple of days.
Love you, man. I appreciate it, Brian, and looking forward to seeing you and your lovely wife again.
Yes, looking forward to it. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, there we go. We made it through the interview. We made it through. Thanks so much, Marz, for doing that. I have no idea. Last week, what I figured out, and just to give you guys a little backstory here, last week what I figured out was there was some issue with the storage apparently on my device, and it didn't save the interview video the way it was supposed to save it. It only saved part of it, and so I had to go get the original copy of it that that I had once edited, and that's why it wigged out on us last time. Well, apparently, I don't know why. I got rid of a whole boatload of stuff, so I have no idea what the problem was. But I'll have to play with it for next week's episode and play an interview all the way through. I didn't think that I'd actually have to do that, to do a practice interview to see, but apparently I'm going to have to see if it'll play all the way through so I don't have an issue for the third straight episode. That's insane. I apologize for that. But hey, thanks so much for being here, for taking the time with me, Marz. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have a great time. I know we've been battering about ideas in the comments section here about other ways that we can raise money. So hopefully, I know Dan's been in there watching, keeping track of things. Hopefully Marz has been in there too. Maybe pull some ideas away from the comment section that we've had with all the talk that's been going on during that interview, because there's some good ideas that we're brewing about in there. That we're brewing a boat. Right? I have to say it that way. The ideas were brewing a boat. So I'm looking forward to it. I looking forward to getting on the road tomorrow and heading my happy self heading to Canada. So again, thanks so much for doing that. I do need to take a second, guys, to talk for a second, just to give a little bit of a shout out here. Because this past week, it came very suddenly. I don't know what the circumstances are. I have no idea what's going on. I haven't read anything specific about this, but I do know that our brothers over in Sweden lost a chapter member this past week. And I want to give just a few seconds to say rest in peace to Johan. I don't know if pronounce. I never met him, never spoke with him. I don't know if we're pronouncing his name Johan or Johan, but our brother over in Sweden passed away this past week. And I know that Sweden is the largest chapter that we have. It is absolutely enormous, but you can't argue how close that chapter is in many ways. There's a lot of guys there that are very close, and so they are hurting this past week and this week with the loss of a brother, and we want to keep them in our thoughts and prayers as best we can. So again, rest in peace, brother, and we'll keep our thoughts and prayers with you and your family and your brothers. Thank you very much for allowing me to do that, guys. Appreciate that. All right. Well, hey, we've been here for over an hour, including our snafu that we had once again. I just want to wish everybody a great rest of the week. I want to wish you a great weekend. Hopefully, it looks like most of the parts of at least the states are going to have nice weather. Maybe a few storms going on, but that's about it. But other than that, guys, hey, I think you know what this means. That's going to wrap up episode 219. I will see you back here next week for episode 220. Who knows what we're going to do? We're going to have some fun next week, though. I want to challenge you guys, as I say every week, to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Most important words I say every week, guys. Please remember them well. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. But just saying that is not enough. We need to take the steps to talk. Talk about it. Find someone to talk to. That's going to wrap it up, guys. Until next weekend, and until next week for episode 220, I hope you guys have a great night, great weekend. Until next week, take care. Stay safe.
To the finish, go hard.